It says offline still. Can you guys see it?
Uh, nope.
Yeah, it
Oh,
says.
I see live on YouTube.
Okay, mine, I must have a delay. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, I gotta mute that. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me,
All
Rosette? Can you hear me?
Okay, you're live on YouTube. You're live. You can start. I'm there. I can see the
Okay,
video.
okay. All right. Well, today we're going to just do some basic decoding, current events, things we've noticed in the news, stuff like that. And I'm joined today by my friend Sean in Scotland.
Hi there. Hi,
And
Rosette.
hey, Sean.
Hi there.
And we have Andy who's in Portugal. Say hi, Andy.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
So, hey guys. So we have hello, Jill. This person's name is Comet. That's a good name. That's interesting. Frederico, glory to the King Yahusha, Abel. I don't know how to say these names. Abdel Hadi Nadif. There, did I do okay? The blonde German. Hey guys. So, and Walker might be joining us in a bit, so we'll keep an eye out for Walker. But so we wanted to share with you guys. Let me see. Should I go share my screen first?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, let me get to the share screen.
Kitty is all right. We took him out.
Okay, so you guys can see my screen.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me go here. You can see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just start going through some stuff that I noticed, and then Sean has some stuff he wants to share, and Andy, anytime you want to interject,
Okay.
you guys are welcome
Okay.
to. Okay, so I saw this picture right here. I actually saw this clip. Did you guys watch this? Way of the World posted it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I noticed just in this picture, I thought it was pretty cool because you have the baby Jesus here. And sorry, I hope you guys can't hear that background noise. But I have a baby Jesus here, and so one thing, you have the sun symbol behind, right? And I thought that was pretty cool because we're children of the light, we're children of the day. So
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up the 1 Thessalonians 5:5. Ye are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of the darkness. Because all the Luciferian imagery, everything with the Luciferians is all about the moon, Venus, the night, right? The Masons are all about the black and the white, right?
Yeah,
So without color, and we're children of the day. So we're the rainbow. The symbol of the rainbow is actually one of our symbols that they usurped. So when you see the sun disk behind, it's a good symbol. So it's not like we're worshiping the sun. It's symbolic, saying that we're children of the light. So it's a really good symbol. And then he's doing with his hands here. I put this in a Discord chat, and someone was saying, "Oh, he's doing a W. He's not doing a V." But this is a V right here that he's doing with his right hand. And this is an M, even though it's upside down. This is an M. He has his two middle fingers connected there. So he's actually doing 22 with his right hand, because V is 22 numerology, and the M is 13 in numerology. So he's doing 2213. So he's doing, with his hands there, he's doing Revelation 2213, which is, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So, he's saying, I'm Christ, I'm God, right there. And I just thought that was wonderful, and that the Way of the World posted that for his Christmas message. And if you look here, so to prove it, how the guy was saying, oh, it's a W. It's not a W, because you can tell in this picture right here that he's doing it right here. He has only two fingers up. He's closing these. He has two fingers up. Over here, he has two fingers up, and you can see they're a little apart. He's doing the 22 here. He's doing the 22 here. Down here, you know, it's a little bent, but he has the two fingers up. He's doing the 22 here. And then here you can see he's doing the M. You know, it's clear he has his two fingers together in the middle. He's doing the M, just like Hitler's doing here. So Hitler's doing the M. So in this picture on the left, it's Christ again doing the 22:13, saying he's the Alpha and the Omega. And then Hitler, he's doing the 13. The 13 is also, excuse me, for the 13 tribes, right? Because there's actually 13 tribes, because Joseph is split between Ephraim and Manasseh. So there are 13 tribes. So he's saying, you know, he's one of the 13 tribes, the true Israelites, you know. So I do think that Hitler knew. So, and then he's wearing the philpot right here, right, which is a ancient Christian symbol. And so I could show the wiki on it, but I wanted to just go through real quick, go down here, and I was looking at the VW symbol. I have a bus, and Sean and I were talking about the buses and stuff, and you know, I have a new perspective on Hitler. And you know, before I was thinking that the VW is for 666, right? That's what everyone hears. 666, and you know, so yeah, okay, right, no. That's what they want us to think,
They
right?
want us to think that, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the common understanding. Everyone thinks it's for 666, and so they tie it with Hitler and the Nazis and make it a satanic symbol. So I was thinking, there's no way. This is not a 666. This is not a satanic symbol. So I wanted to look at it closer, because I know that Hitler had it made for the people. He loved his people, and he's a Christian. So it's not going to be 666. So what is it? So I was looking at it. Okay, here's for the philpot, but let me just go to the, so here, so if you look side by side, you can see that the VW symbol is actually it's called the odal rune. And the odal rune, odal means nobility and inheritance. So Hitler put this on the cars because he knew that the Germans are noble people, and they're the inheritors. They're Yahweh's people. They're part of the 13 tribes. So that's why he had it put on the car. And we can look here. Look at the odal rune. So he uses the philpot, which is an ancient Christian symbol, and the odal rune also has an interesting background. Let me see. There was stuff in here I wanted to point out. So that, you know, the neo-pagans pick it up and use it, but it was actually used by Hitler. See here in his Panzer volunteer army branch, they used it here. For his 7th SS Volunteer Mountain Division, they used it. You know, they have it on a flag, so it's equivalent to the philpot. It's another variation of the philpot. And see if we look at the philpot here. Actually, I think I wrote a little up on the philpot. Well, we'll just go here. So the philpot, so that means philpot means 4-footed, because it just, you know, is this twist here. But what's interesting, I think I wrote it here. Let me go. Sorry, I'm not good with live. I'm better if I have everything written down. I wrote something here. Yeah, this part. So the philpot is an ancient Christian symbol. It means 4-footed. And both of these swastika-like crosses may have been indigenous to the British Isles before the Roman invasion. So this is indigenous to the British Isles. So this is a symbol that was brought to the British Isles by the Israelites. So it's a good symbol.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
The American Cub Scouts and I'm sure it's the UK Cub Scouts in the early 1900s, they had that, I think we spoke about this, they had that on their uniforms, didn't they? That was the symbol on their uniforms, and they used to do the one-handed salute And it's for truth and honesty. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
symbol. Yeah,
and the one-handed salute, that's known as like the Heil Hitler,
yeah,
that is an open-handed salute. That
yeah,
means that they're not hiding anything. It's
yeah.
open,
It's
right?
about
So they're
truth and
with
honesty. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's with Christ, open-handed, not hiding anything with
yeah.
Christ. And then you have
Not like the hidden hand.
yeah, which is what? The communist symbol. They do a fist.
Yes,
Okay, so they have it up in the
fist
air,
closed.
but they close it because they're
Hmm.
all about secrecy. So that would be like the hidden hand, the closed fist. So
Yep.
that's the difference between the communists and the Nazis. The Nazis were the Christian movement. They were pro Christ, fighting on the side of Christianity with the open hand. And then the communists are the antichrist, which are the closed fist.
Hmm.
Definitely. And here, so let me just read on the Philthought. So it said, both of these swastika-like crosses may have been indigenous to the British Isles before the Roman invasion. Certainly they were in evidence 1,000 years earlier, but these may have been largely imports. They were certainly substantially in evidence during the Romano-British period, with widespread examples of the duplicated Greek fret motif appearing on mosaics, like that picture I showed.
Yep.
After the withdrawal of the Romans in the early 5th century, there followed the Anglo-Saxon and Jutish migrations. We know that the Philthought was very popular among these incoming tribes from Northern Europe, as we find it on artifacts such as brooches, sword hilts, and funerary urns. So incoming tribes. I wonder who those incoming tribes were. Right? Those would be the Scythians, the
Yeah.
Jutes, the Angles, the Saxons, who were all the
Yes.
Israelite tribes.
Of
So they
course.
brought with them this symbol. And I do believe that, Hitler knew. I think he did know. I think that if he won the war, that he would have had like a big coming out party,
Yeah.
and explained it,
Explain
but
it all. Yeah.
I think he just keeps it under wraps. Sorry, I hope you guys can't hear that.
That's okay.
Okay. I like it quiet in here. We have a small house, so it makes it kind of hard. But yeah, so that's a good symbol. So the symbol of Christ, this is definitely Christ up here doing the Alpha and Omega, and this is all connected,
Mhm.
So because too that Jesus said he talked in parables, right? So he was trying to find ways to communicate with us so that the Jews wouldn't be able to understand. I think later they ended up picking it up, but I think originally these symbols, were hidden meanings for us, originally.
Yeah.
So
I was. Are you still on? I was going to say something extra about the Philthought. You probably know about it anyway. Just for anybody that's listening,
yeah, go.
they had laundry vans in Ireland in the early 1900s with that Philthought cross on the side of them, on the side of the van, and the van was red with a white square and the Philthought swastika on the side of the van. Did you know about that?
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah, the little laundry vans that ran around in Ireland.
Yeah, see, I
They
mean,
all-
it's a good symbol, and it's funny because there's so much propaganda, brainwashing of us that that this is like the most despised symbol today.
Yeah,
Imagine wearing a shirt with one on and just walking, just go for a stroll, go into your town and go walk with it on. There, you're gonna get hate.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. This is actually one of the best symbols there is, and we can't even wear it. So their
Tumbles
propaganda
against
works so much that we can't even wear it anymore. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
there was
Um,
also a couple of ice hockey teams in Canada. One was called the Fernie Swastikas, and I think the Windsor Swastikas or something, and that was their symbol on their top, their hockey top.
nice.
Yeah, same stuff. Yeah, there's quite a
Yeah,
few instances.
it'd be nice to bring it back.
Yeah,
It
most definitely.
it's just hard though because if we had it on our cars or on our shirts or something, we have to be prepared for the wrath of the ignorant.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
that's the thing. It's the ignorant, the ignorant hordes. that don't
Yeah.
know any better. And, people that do know are going to get attacked. That's how it's going to
Yeah.
be, in the end times, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. If you want to share a little, I can reshare. I just want to go and check because I think Walker's going to join us. So, how about I stop share and you want to share screen, Sean? Share some pictures.
Yeah. If you, I'll just need to see what I was going to try and share here at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I could show some more while you're getting ready.
Yeah.
So, Sean found a lot of really interesting things, like in the all the shooting events and stuff like that. He made some really good connections. I don't really focus on those because anytime we do them, we channels get shut down. I had one up and I like phonetically um, put it up on my YouTube. I forgot what I put. I put like something shoe. I was like trying to make the word sound like for shooting. I put like a shoe, like SHOE and ting or something. Trying to put it up, but people's channels were getting shut down. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to touch this stuff. But Sean made some really good connections. How they put Christ in some variation of Christ in almost all the shootings. So they're fake. Like I noticed this one, Nicholas Cruz. Cruz is Spanish for cross. And so and then he had they all have like here he has the red hair, the Joker hair.
It's a Marrano name. Cruz is a Marrano name, a new Christian name, not a Goy name. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. So Murano name because the Murano Jews that infiltrated, where was it? Spain or was it Italy? Where did they infiltrate?
What?
Andy? The Murano Jews. Where did the Murano Jews infiltrate? Wasn't it like Spain, Italy?
Marrano Sephardic were not originally, but they came from Morocco and they settled in Spain. Basically in the north of the south of Europe, Italy, south of France, south of Spain, and Portugal. Yeah, it's where they settled down, But the most the populated areas with Jewish population were the peninsula, Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah, your area. I saw your the little article you showed.
There's Daniel in.
Oh, you see? Okay. I'm not sure. I could go check. I just want to stop share when I go check. Or let me just stop share real quick and I'll go check. Yeah, I see him there. Let me grab him. Oh wait, he's muted. I don't know why it always mutes everybody.
He can unmute himself.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Hello?
Oh, he can?
Hi,
Hey, Daniel.
Hello. What up, bro?
Hey guys.
All right, Daniel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good, thank you. You have a good Christmas?
Yeah, it's always a very busy time of year. Took on more work days and family stuff, lots of driving around, lots of commercialism, spending money because, that's what Christmas has become, replacing the spiritualism with commercialism. And I've got some very worldly nephews who would be very upset without their presents. So, of course, I have to participate. Otherwise, I'm the, that guy who brings no presents under the tree. So nobody wants to be that guy, right? So
yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard because we're have that propaganda since we're little kids that about Santa Claus and all that stuff. So what do you do, right? You don't want to be the Grinch. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
Satan's claws.
Well, Sean, do you want to share some pictures, or you want me to share mine again? You
were talking about the Christ thing. Did you see the event, was it happened in California? Was it yesterday or so? There was a California cop, CC, gunned down a day after Christmas. Did you see that? No?
No, do you have a clip? Do you want to
I've not got a clip. I just found it for just before we come on here. I think I may have a picture of just the guy who they arrested for it.
Okay, yeah, share that.
Share screen.
I haven't. I don't normally watch the news. I only get it from Activist News, and then from you guys. You know, like if you post something.
So can you see the guy here?
Yeah, can you make it bigger?
Yeah, just turn it up. Just now, open up. Just now, is it open up? You see him? You got the guy here?
Yep.
He's just been arrested with his black and white check shirt on.
Yeah, interesting. So what happened in this news event?
So a cop was gunned down. A Ronald Singh with a magic age, the usual, 33 years old. An immigrant from Fiji. Now, I never managed to get a few pictures, but all the pictures they showed of him basically telling us that he's living the American dream. He was wearing all the Under Armour clothing. Do you know that, mate? Under Armour?
Yeah.
Isn't that the Palestinian liberation thing he has on his neck?
Sorry, Sandy, what's that? Sorry.
I don't know how to say it, you know, but what this is wearing on his neck, you know, white and black. Isn't that the Palestinian liberation?
The PLO scarf?
The PLO scarf, yeah. It's the black and white check floor of the Freemasons.
Yeah, scarf, exactly. Yeah, isn't that the Palestinian scarf? It's like that, right?
Yeah, I think I may have another picture here of him, if I can get it, if I can.
Might also be Masonic coloring, of course.
But, you know, even if it's like the Palestinian scarf, that makes you think of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and they want to keep that in the news too, right?
Yeah. Do you see the black and white checked here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, he gunned down a Californian cop, 33 years old, and the person who was reporting on it, wait for it, was a Sheriff Adam Christensen, as usual.
Christensen, there you go. And then that guy, Conrado, his middle name's Virgin.
Yeah.
So tied with Mary.
Notice how all these people, all these guys, the women doesn't have. She has a guy name, but all of them, all these guys, like the majority of Mexicans and South Americans, they always have a Marano name on them. They always have a fucking Marano name.
A Marano name?
It is. All this, if you go, South Americans, they always have a fucking, sorry for my bad English. Yeah, they always have a Marano name on them. Why is that? If you guys wonder, and why do all the Africans, 80% of the Africans have also a Marano name? You know, nobody asks that. Don't you think?
Yeah. So they have they probably have Jewish blood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But nobody speaks about it. And the Africans in America, it's because their owners were the Jews, slaves. That's why they have those Marano names, you know, and new Christian names, you know. But these guys here, they clearly have Jewish blood. These guys have mixed with the Indian. You can see a bit of Indian here, and Jew. This is Jew and Indian mixed. You don't even have the black here. It's only Native American and Jew. Go ahead. Sorry, just to clarify.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So basically, the guy who they killed, Ronald Singh, I said he had the Under Armour clothing. Do you know the Under Armour? It stands for 33. Yeah, it's the two U's that cross over each other.
The Under Armour. You mean
it's
bulletproof vest?
No, it's a symbol. It's a sports clothing. I wish I had a.
Pull it up. Do a Google search. What's it called? Do you know?
Under Armour. I'll do a Google search here, right?
Okay.
So, and if you look, and you'll notice the symbol on it. Under Armour. I don't think a lot of people know it. Under Armour logo. So if you look it up, see the two U's, they cross under, one's there and the other one, do you see it? Yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
So the U, as you're aware, is 3 in numerology.
Yep.
So the Under Armour symbol is just another way of showing their symbolism of 33. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, they get U and another U upside down crossing over it. So
And
all the pictures they showed of this guy living the American dream, seemingly, had all the Under Armour gear on, hats, t-shirts, the lot. So that's them basically showing their symbolism in there.
very good. Nice. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that guy's Gustavo. Sorry, I'll just shut that down again. The guy Gustavo, seemingly he was 33 years old also. And then they had a little vigil for him. They had a little ceremony night. They were putting candles and that out, and you'll never guess what was playing in the background.
What?
The Scottish bagpipes. Now that tells us that the ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. So why would they play in California for a policeman from Fiji who was shot dead? Why would they play the Scottish bagpipes at a vigil?
Exactly. Very good. Excellent. Definitely.
So they've got the Scottish bagpipes blaring away. It's obviously ancient and accepted Scottish rite of Freemasonry. And they show you the guy's truck, which was a Dodge Ram, the Ram being the symbol, the horned deity, yeah?
Yep, definitely.
And it's the same, it's just the same old symbolism. And I've just found that just before we come on. Sorry, I didn't have much more to show of it, but what I was trying to show here was, again, the Christ in the name with a sheriff called Adam Christensen.
Yeah. So can you tell us some from the top of your head? You had a few that you remembered. Like what are some of the other ones that had? Do you want me to show? You want me to share screen and show? I had a couple of yours on there.
I've got one here from the Dylan Roof. Remember Dylan Roof?
Yep.
So Dylan Roof, if I can get this picture up. You see it?
Yep.
So I'll go this way first. So here's Dylan Roof. He's wearing the black and white, obviously for Freemasonry.
Yeah.
And if you look behind him, you see the registration plate 44768V. Now we know that V in numerology is 4. So the 44768 and 4 all adds up to 33. So there's the 33 symbolism in your face right behind you in the top corner. And this guy here got charged. He was done for going into a church, killing 9 black people, and he got charged. They get 33 charges up against him. Right, I'll show it the next picture. Jurors find Dylan Roof guilty of all 33 hate crimes. You see it in the south, and obviously CC 33 again, Carolina Church. And the main guy that interviewed was this guy in the orange. He was called Christon Scriven. And he's wearing the orange t-shirt and the eagle again for the Mason.
Yeah.
The same old symbolism. Carrying on and on. Have you got any more?
Me?
Yeah, have you got some Christ stuff there?
I just had, because I don't really look at the shooting events, because ever since like the Boston bombing one, it's like it drives me crazy, because I know that they're doing that to us, so I don't really look at them that close.
So remember the Novichok? Do you know the poisoning, the Russian poisoning in the UK?
Oh, no. Hey, let me say real quick, the Dylan Roof one, so that was in that Southern church, right? It was shooting inside the church. I just want to say real quick that was in The Kingsman, the movie. If you guys saw the movie The Kingsman, I did mention that in there. The Colin Firth? Remember he shot up the church? All the people in the church? That was at the same time as the that Dylan Roof thing. So that was more predictive programming. They had it in the Kingsman, and then that church shooting happened.
I'll need to go back and watch that.
Yeah, because it's tied together. But go ahead.
No, they tell us everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here is the Novichok poisoning in the UK. I'll go back to. So this lady here, look at her name, Eulia. Do you see it? You see
What
it?
is it?
Jew, liar.
Eulia.
Oh, July.
Do you see it? Eulia, do you see it?
Ah, that's pretty good.
Right. So this lady here is called Eulia. That's what I call her.
Elia.
Right, she's aged 33, yeah?
Mhm.
And her father was called Sergei Skripal. He was aged 66, and he lived in 6 Christie Miller Road. See it? That was the name of the street. The Christ in it again. See it?
Yeah.
Look how they've spray painted the Christ out. That's probably done all by design, eh?
Yeah.
And also the Freemasonry. We know that symbolism. They always show the brickwork in the back. They love to show the brickwork and everything.
Yep. To show the masonry,
The
to show the
Masons, they
masons.
love showing that.
What a bunch! At the end of the day, these guys are a bunch of cowards, you know, because they
Yeah.
don't come in your face. What the fuck? They do all this shit like little kids doing on your back. Fucking cowards.
Yeah, they are.
They would be crushed if they came with their intentions and they speak up. Okay, we are going to fight against you because we want a world of our own. They would be instantly crushed. Fucking kids, you know. Of course, they have power, and we have to be afraid of course. But these are fucking cowards, the biggest cowards on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Hey,
Yeah.
in that picture with the Christie Miller Road, they made sure police was showing. In
Yeah,
that picture, too.
33.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just want to point that out. So go ahead.
Well, you've got the double 33 in there, as you're aware, because Miller here also adds up to 33.
That's right. And
And
then also they showed the pylons. See how they're striped, kind of like barber poles.
Yeah.
So that's going to tie in
The
with
blood-
that other picture. I have a little clip for that.
Is that the bloodletting poles? The barber
Yes,
poles?
exactly. The bloodletting poles. Yeah.
Bloodletting poles, the barber pole, and there's the brickwork. But yeah, they always seem to use the same 4 names. I find all the time in the news that add up to 33, and one of them's Miller. The other one's Simpson, as you're aware, O.J. Simpson and all Parker and Johnson. Johnson's Chaldean, but
and Robert, because they had a Robbie Parker, right, with the
Robbie. Yeah.
So he had 33 in both. Robbie Parker, so he had 66.
The first names are usually Stephen and Michael, which are 32, but those second names are Miller, Parker, Johnson, and Simpson. You find them constantly in all the newspaper stories about space, stories about anything. Those 4 names will turn up.
And you know, the one NASA guy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he uses deGrasse because deGrasse is 33.
Yeah.
So he makes sure he gets his 33 in his name.
Yeah.
And then you have Carl Sagan. Sagan is in reverse is Nagas for the serpent. So he has serpent in his name.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm going off.
No, it's good. It's good to get all this in because sometimes we forget to. So what I was going to show here also about this thing was they talk about this Sergei Skripal and Yulia Skripal's car, which was a BMW, and the registration plate's HD09WAO, and that adds up to the magic again, 33.
Wow.
And I've got some pictures of other registration plate. So I'll go back again. So as we said, Christie Miller Road for the Christ. Now the lady that was reporting on the 2 of them when they were supposedly poisoned and went to hospital was this lady here in the black. Her name was Christine, again, Blanchard. So she's wearing black and white Freemasonry again, and her colleague wearing the black and red satanic colours there next to her. And look at the back, Trust Headquarters,
Yeah, and also look at the microphones. It's funny because they have them set up like the 2 pillars, you know, and the one in the middle.
Yeah,
they'll go with the pictures I show. I'll show you in a bit, but
it's the same old. And a lot of the pictures you see of this Yulia, She's always got her eyes looking to the left-hand side, as we're aware, the left-hand path, the satanic path.
Yep.
Lots of the pictures in Google have her looking to the left
Yep.
all the time. So
how many Freemasons do you guys think there exist in the Western world?
Well, Freemasons or ones that are
I
in the
heard
know?
about 5 million worldwide, 5 to 10 million worldwide. I think it might be right, that number. It's a huge number, you know, because all those guys grabbing the microphone and all these shabos guys, you know, they are part of something, you know. There must be a lot of them, you know, 5 million, 10 million. What do you guys think?
well, if you get the different types, you've got the Blue Lodge, the lower end, haven't you? But the top end, there must be in the millions. Yes, I would probably say yes. If you think about it in a worldwide scale,
I wouldn't know how many there
I
are
wouldn't know,
in terms of numbers,
yeah.
but I do know, I did read something towards the start of the year, which was saying something along the lines of that there's a Masonic crisis, that Freemasonry is dying of old age. And what they meant by that was the article went on to say something about the average age of a Freemason is like 70, because there's just not enough young people coming into these fraternities. And I think they were specifically talking about Freemasonry in America, so I don't know how this applies to, you know, England or Europe or Australia. I imagine it's the same here in Australia as well, because I can't think of anyone that's, you know, my age or younger that's a Freemason, but I do know there is a lot of efforts to get people into the fold, and one of the ways they do this is, you know, through charities and all of that sort of stuff. So for an example, something I used to do when I was younger, I used to do like nippers and tufts, like where you go to the beach and you know, you do your swimming and all of that. It's sort of like lifesaver training for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I remember my friend, he's got kids now, and I remember looking at these photos that he put up of his kids, and it said like Mason, like Freemason all over, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Like, what's going on? But this is exactly what they're doing. They get involved with like the Rotary Club, and you know, you pull over on the side of the road to get a biscuit and a coffee. A sweet old lady will give you a coffee so you don't, you know, crash your car from driving long distances or whatever. That's what they do. They get involved with all of these charities, and it's sort of like, I guess they get people into the fold indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously big connections to Mormonism, the Mormon Church, and even other Christian denominations. So I think they do it indirectly.
Every person that has a business and it passes that threshold, you know, where they have to start dealing, because we normal people, we don't work a lot with a lot of Jews. We sometimes have a boss that is a Jew, you know, but when you pass a certain threshold, you know, what they call the elite, you only deal with Jews. It's only a few number of guys, and a huge number of Jews, you know. And the people who pass that threshold, every day you have people passing that threshold, you know. If they will have to accept being part of some Masonic, you know, conspiracy, or they will get their business down, you know. And every day, that's why I think it keeps growing, because every day, even these guys in Silicon Valley making millions of their new business, you know, when they pass that threshold, you know, that money business threshold, they have always to deal with the Jew. You know, and they have always to join some kind of Masonic, might not be the real Freemasonry, but something that is Masonic in its aspects. You know, what do you guys think?
I think you're right. I think there are definitely levels to this. I don't think everyone who's a Mason is fully a part of, you know, adept occultism and understands the Luciferian aspect behind it. Like, I'll give you an example.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree.
I remember talking to someone who used to be a bit of a friend. I don't really talk to him anymore. It's been years. But they told me that they got involved in a lodge. And I thought this was really strange, because this was a friend that I guess you could say they used to be into, looking into conspiracy stuff, and I always assumed that they were aware that Masons aren't really, our guys. And I remember asking them about it and saying, well, what about this and what about that, and asking a lot of questions. And I got the impression that he wasn't really in the know about a lot of things, or that he didn't have a lot of stuff revealed to him. Either that, or he was just lying to me. I just got the impression he didn't really know much about, Freemasonry. So I don't know how much of an
but they
impact.
have to be part of the club. They have to join the club, and they have to follow the global business, rules. They have to join that club. They
I just don't think it's like a gym. I don't think you pay your
It's
membership and you get access to all the machines. I think
no.
it's a slow process.
Right? Don't you heavily compartmentalize? That's why nobody knows everything. Like people didn't know about 1 million, more than 1 people worked on the Manhattan Project, and most of them didn't even know that was for that goal, but they worked all together. So it must be some kind of similar stuff.
Compartmentalization.
Exactly. Heavy compartment. Okay, yeah, heavy. It's heavy nowadays because it's so big. But yeah.
Yeah, and they go to a lot of small business people. Like, if you want your business to thrive, then if you become a Mason, then your business will thrive. And if you don't, then they don't send work to you. Like Masons will send work to other Masons and stuff, and like they'll go to a business, and they'll shake the guy's hand, right? And if the guy shakes it, does a Masonic handshake, then they know that that's a brother, and then he'll get the business and stuff. If he doesn't do the Masonic handshake, then he doesn't get the business, or they'll tell him about it, if you want to join or whatever. Or they blackmail people too, they try to blackmail people so that they end up joining, putting them in compromising positions so they end up joining, just like the same thing they do with politicians and stuff like that. I think they do that on small scales with small businesses and stuff like that.
There's definitely a lot of
They do
in-group
stuff.
preference going on. Absolutely. It's when you swear an oath of allegiance, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out. I've got to stop saying rocket scientist. We need a new word because we know that's bullshit too.
No, it's bullshit.
It doesn't take a brain surgeon. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to work out that there's a lot of in-group preference going on when they swear an oath of secrecy and allegiance to each other.
Yeah. Definitely. Hey, you guys want me to? I got a few more I could share.
Yeah. You
want me to share? And Andy, you should share that little article that went on the birth rate thing in Portugal, if you wanted to.
I think he's just ducked out.
He stepped out?
Oh, he'll be back. He said be right back.
Oh, okay. So, so here, this is one of Sean. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, that was the second London attack. It happened one evening. I think it was 3 guys or something that ran people over. The usual story. And yes, this is one of the main the main
the
picture.
Usual story.
Well, it was for a while, wasn't it? Running with people down was usual for a while, wasn't it? I don't try to be hilarious, but maybe I've came across wrong. But they ran people down and ran out and stabbed people. But this is one of the main pictures they showed in the news with the bus with the number 33 on it, right in your face.
Yeah.
And if you look at the registration plate of the police car BX66HHT, again, that's 33 in numerology. So there's your twin 33 there, right in your face. But you made a good observation there below that registration plate.
Yeah, just that the dogs, so they make sure and put dogs in there because they like doing the law of reversal thing, right? So like in morals and dogma in reverse is am God. That's why he used that title, morals and dogma. Albert Pike, who was a 33rd degree Mason, right? He was like the top ranking Mason of his time, and that's like their Bible. And so dogma is am God because their ideal is a Luciferian ideal, right? Where they want man to become God in place of
Yeah.
God. So, so they put the dogs in there too for God backwards. And then if you look at, I did this before in one of my presentations, and then the person said that I was teaching it, and I was a witch, and I was a channeler. So thought was hilarious. It's like, no, I'm just trying to show people, just like we're discussing today, all the hidden symbolism so people can see for themselves how they think, what they do, how they are. That's all I'm doing, So it's not like I'm a Mason and I want people to join or something, I'm trying to expose them just like you guys are, So it's funny how people like try and spin things. But yeah, so I noticed. So if you read Morals and Dogma, I know Sean, you have a copy. You got one. Did you get to the part where he talks about ab?
No, I'm still going through it at the moment. I've got the good copy, the 1950s copy you told me to
Yeah,
get. Yeah,
right on. Yeah, so in there they talk about, so ab is another word for God. So they have, their motto is Ordo ab Chaos, right? So that they always say this is order out of chaos. What it is ab, that means God. Okay. And theirs is a Baphomet God, right? So you could split this. So the A is alpha and B is beta.
Yeah.
So the A is the masculine, the B is the feminine. So in the ab right there, you have the Baphomet, you have their God. And then you notice like Ordo is 4 letters and Ko is 4 letters. And you should look at this, this is my opinion, because I've never seen this, but this is what I believe, is that how they really want this shown is with the AB at the top, like the capstone to the pyramid. So it'd be like pyramidal shape like this, right? And you have Ordo here and you have Ko here. Ordo is Yahweh, is Christ, is the creator. It's order is creationism. It's what the Adamic people do. We go around the world and we create. We make civilization. We make buildings. We make cars, computers, phones, air conditioning. All the nice things of life. So we're the creators. So we're the Ordo. And then the Ko would be the Luciferian aspect. They're the destroyers, right? Their God is the destroyer God, so everything they do is they want to make chaos out of everything. So they think Ordo and Ko are equal, basically, with the ab up on top, right? So they think their God, so it's Christ versus Antichrist, and they think we're on an even playing field. That's what they think. That's how they see it. And also the Ordo ad Ko here, the Ordo is on the right, because you look at everything from the picture's point of view outwards. So Ordo is on the right side, right? So we're God is good, is right?
What do they call that? Sinister and Dexter.
Exactly.
So the sinister's as you look at it on the right hand side.
Yeah, and we're Dexter, and Dexter is good, and that's why when you, in portraits and stuff, like so anyone that would know this stuff would look right in the portrait, right, to show that they're of the right hand path and good, and then the the Luciferians would look left, saying that they're the sinister path. So Ko is on the left, Ordo is on the right.
Yeah.
And
that's
and then also the stars. So let me see here. I have to do my notes so I don't miss stuff. So you have 16 stars here, and you have 16 stars here, and then you have 1 at the top, right? So you have your 33. 16, 16, and 1. And so they want Lucifer to reign. So that's why they have the 33 on top. And then also they have the double-headed eagle is the Janus symbol, right? So they have, like, it's the Pope. They have the front person, the Pope, he's in white. So he's the public face, the good Pope, the public face, right? And then you have the black Pope who's behind the scenes, and he's the satanic one. He's the violent arm. He's the Jesuits are the ones that go behind the scenes and help with the chaos and stuff, right? And they've been headed, the Catholic Church has been headed by Jews, for a long time now. So, the Catholic Church has been taken over, just like all the governmental bodies in the world have been taken over,
Yeah.
just like the royalty has been taken over. So the royalty used to be good royalty of Europe, but they've been infiltrated or killed off, like the Romanovs of Russia. And it's funny, Daniel. Someone was trying to tell me that Stalin, they believe, was actually related to the Romanovs. Is that like the funniest thing you ever heard? So they're trying to usurp because they want Putin to be like the Romanovs. They want him to be a czar now, right? That's what they're talking about. So it's all about the Jews, the Putin Jew usurping in Russia, usurping the roles of the European royalty.
Well, the idea that a Georgian Jew from the Dugashvili tribe is related to the Romanov family, I think, is laughable.
Yeah, me too. So I just want to point that out because someone on YouTube is saying that, and I won't say who, but if they're listening, they know. I'm talking about them. So I was pretty shocked when I heard that. So I definitely wanted that pointed out. Let me see if I had anything else. Oh, and then under it, you can't read it here probably, but it says in Latin. God, I don't have it. You guys can't read that, huh? It says God. It says God is my right in Latin. So that's like a play on words, right? Because God is my right. Yeah, that's how it is, right? It should be God is my right. Christ is the right hand man of God. Everything like in the Bible when it talks about Christ, it talks about the right hand. The right hand side, but that's a play on words because they're saying right, meaning might, right? So through force, they're going to become God. That's what they're saying here. So they're taking it and using it for themselves again. They always usurp everything. So, oh, and here, so this is your picture. You want to talk about your picture? I had a couple things to add, but.
No, if you want to finish what you're saying here, I'll talk about it. Yeah, do you want me to talk about it just now?
If you want, this was interesting in the news. You want to talk about that, and then I'll just tag on.
I don't think a lot of people maybe notice this. This goes back to the very first London attack, where the car supposedly went onto the pavement and went over the bridge and knocked many people down. It ended up outside the wall at Parliament. Was it Parliament in Westminster or something like that? It smashed into the wall. The guy got out of the car and he got through the fence and into the area, and he had two knives. The guy, this is the story. He had two knives and he attacked and killed a PC called PC Keith Palmer. So you can see the symbolism here. So a couple of days. Sorry, I won't. Before I go and say that, now PC Keith Palmer, his shoulder number on his uniform, wait for it, was 933, as per usual. So what happened, I believe, a day or so later, they had the whole of the UK stop work at 09:33 in the morning for a minute or a 2-minute silence for this attack. And I think another day or so later, they had a ceremony at a nighttime vigil thing at this football ground. The football team were called Charlton Athletic. And as you can see, I don't know if you can get the picture any bigger. As you can see from this picture, Charlton Athletics, the badge is a hand holding a knife. So I find it quite funny how they go to the ground, they lay a scarf seemingly on the guy's seat. They had an annual ticket, a season ticket, and this was his seat where he supposedly sat every day. So he was killed with two knives, and then they seemingly lay a scarf over the seat, showing the two knives. And if you look close at the seat, there's two numbers on the seat. The first number is 166. Now, underneath that 66, there's another little white badge number, and I'm not sure what the first numbers are, but you can see at the end of the scarf is blanking out some of the number, and the only number that's left on the white little number down there is 6 also. So you've got your 666 right in front of your face on that seat, and those 2 knives that killed that man, and obviously the red for ritual or whatever. So
yeah, so here's the 6 down here too.
yeah.
Do you want to show this picture bigger, or do you think?
I'll see if I can find it bigger.
Okay. Okay, let me know when you find it. I'll just talk while you look then, if you want.
Right. Okay.
Also, I noticed, like, see here on the sides. I mean, this reminds me of like a Baphomet star. Like, you can't see the pieces, you know, but it looks like 2 upside down stars on each side. But even if they were,
I see that. Yeah, I noticed it.
it just that's what I see. But it also it could be Y's too, you know. So you think of like the XY, so the feminine, the Baphomet, you know, too. But also just how they have it set up here. So they have the 66 in the middle, and they have a pillar and a pillar, right? So you have a pillar and a pillar, and these are 33 each. So you have 66 in the middle. So here you have it, and here you have it. So they're definitely showing, you know, it's set up for the Masonic symbol there. And then here's a Grand Commander. He's wearing 33 here and 33 here. So again, 66, just like this. You know, so so this is definitely set up for the Masons to know that this was a Masonic event. And then these look like the barber pole.
The bloodletting. Yep.
Yeah, they love the bloodletting barber pole, and I just want to show here.
Yeah,
like,
there's a bigger picture there now. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a better picture, but still it's a little. But yeah, here's the 6.
666. Yeah.
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 And here, so this is Prince Harry that supposedly went to the South Pole, and then what's at the South Pole? It's a barber pole. It's the bloodletting pole that they love, right? And whose blood do they let? It's the Christians.
Christian.
That's whose blood they let, right?
Yeah.
So here Harry's doing the moon eye, right? He's doing the one eye symbolism, and here you can see that they worship the left eye. This is a left eye right here.
Yeah.
You can see here. So it's in the middle. You got your pillars and the left eye showing that they're Luciferian, that they're Antichrist. You know, so that's what Harry's doing here. You know, he doesn't have an itch in his eye. He's just doing his thing. And then also I wanted to show, that this guy, so this Master Mason, look at how these look like swords. It reminds me of the Game of Thrones swords. It looks just
2
like
swords,
it.
and each one, I think that symbolizes from that picture too. Yeah.
Yep. And then and so they're all so this is the Iron Throne, right? And iron is another word for iron is Ferris. And then we had the Ferris wheel, right, coming up everywhere, and the London Eye.
You're making a connection. Very good.
Yeah, and so also the symbol for iron is Fe for female.
For us, yeah.
Yeah. So
connections.
Yeah, so you and I were talking about how they have the Ferris wheels all over Europe now. So it's saying that they own these places, you know. So they have the London Eye, right? It's called the London Eye. I mean, my goodness, right? And then it's an O, so it's the opposite of the phallus. It's the O. It's the omega, and it's the feminine, right? Because you have like the ab, you have the alpha and the beta. You have the alpha and the omega. So this is a feminine symbol, right? The Luciferian.
Is O not also the 15th letter, which in the 15 is the Baphomet tarot card?
Exactly. The 15 is the 15 is the devil card.
The devil card, which is
the devil card.
Which is 15, yeah.
Yep. So the devil is ruling in London. The devil, and then also in Mr. Robot, they made sure and ride the Ferris wheel, right? And then they have the Anonymous, which is which was CIA funded and originated, the Anonymous movement that Daniel's familiar with. Right, Daniel? Is he around still? He had his anonymous mask on, and someone said they doxed him because they found a picture. with him with the mask on, and it's like, give me a break, because,
Yeah.
at the beginning, we're all excited. We all, hope the movements are good and true. Right. And just
Yeah.
like, other things that came up recently on YouTube, I was all excited about. I'm not doing anymore, there's,
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you hope for the best. And, if it's not like that, then we move on, But so here, Edinburgh Eye, did you know you had one in Edinburgh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
in
But
Seattle, it's called the Great Wheel, like the Great Works. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
no, I was going to. I've mentioned before in our last conversation, the London Eye. I told you, if we go back to
The London Eye.
no, yeah, the two knives, PC Keith Palmer.
Oh, uh-huh.
That during that event, the camera, I think it was probably panned into the London Eye, and it panned into the little carriage number 33.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
On it,
yeah,
yeah,
they show the Mason connection everywhere, right?
yeah.
And then the Great Wheel, right? We know the Great Wheel. So great is short for greatest of all time, right?
Mm-hmm.
GOAT. That's
Go.
why they use the GOAT too, because GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for Satan. And then my friend Mike M, who I just did a presentation with, I was looking for drone footage to put at the end of our presentation, and I saw Helsinki in Finland had
Yeah.
one right there too. So they don't want to leave anybody out, right? And then
Oh, yeah,
in Paris they have it with right next to the obelisk. So look
yeah,
here. So this is the
yeah.
full-on Baphomet right here. They have the male
The
and the
male and the female.
female right in
Yeah.
the same picture, which is their genitive principle. That's what their G is, right? It has many meanings, the G in Freemasonry, but one of them is definitely the generative principle. That's why they wear the sheepskin pouches over their genitals, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's the generative principle. So, and it's also a way, because it's made out of sheepskin, right? So it's also a way to say that they're screwing us over. Literally, symbolically. And then one of the commenters on our last chat, they mentioned how the Economist 2017 cover, see how it has the little yellow vest people marching?
yeah, marching. So it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was all pre-planned.
Pre-planned. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I watched the movie Divergent just here recently again. And look what's in here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a Ferris wheel. This is supposed to be Chicago, and it's drained of water. They like to have it by the water because water is a symbol of the moon, right? And the moon and Venus are both symbols of Lucifer.
Yeah.
So here you have your Luciferian Ferris wheel, and then they have the water drained. What's interesting, when I was listening to Divergent, it's all about the factions, right? And they say in there, faction over blood, faction before blood. That's what they want us to be, right? Or be like down for our groups and not down for our blood. But we know that blood is the most important thing. Blood over everything. In the end, it is going to come down to tribes. It is going to be tribal, So no matter who your friends are, you're going to be down for your family first, your tribe. That is just how it is, So.
All good stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything? Anybody? Sean or Andy? I think I got everything in here.
You got everything on?
Yeah.
I'm still
what do you want? Yeah, Daniel is mentioning the anonymous, how they're trying to dox you, somebody, and they had that picture of you with the anonymous mask.
Oh, they did dox me, yeah. I mean, it was never something that I ever tried to hide, like when I first got involved in, the truth movement, if you want to call it that. I hate calling it that because most of the people that are in it are full of shit. But yeah, when I was first involved, or first got introduced to, the idea that there is more to this world and the powers behind it than what meets the eye. I got sucked into the whole anonymous thing. I was involved with that for about 7 years. You know, I still do have a very high interest in IT, computers, and all of that. Did a lot of, you know, web development and all of that back in the day, and it was always something that appealed to me. And very slowly but surely, I started to see that, yeah, there's definitely an agenda here. A lot of it was a honeypot, but a lot of it was, I think it was, you know, creating this false dichotomy. I mean, when I originally got involved with it, it was all about, you know, freedom of speech and, you know, all of the stuff that they were trying to do with the internet, laws around. It was mostly just about getting over censorship and freedom of speech. That's pretty much what it was all about. But very slowly but surely, it started turning into, you know, a digital Antifa. You know, they started protesting against hate, if you want to call it that. And I've always been fairly conservative, and of course I'm a Christian, so I started to see through this, and I decided to leave and do my own thing, and that's when I created my YouTube channel. But yeah, you know, people thought that somehow exposed me and whatever. You know, I've got no regrets with that at all. I learned a lot, and I met a lot of really cool people along the line. I still know some of them.
Yeah, I think that, you know, them trying to use that like to dox you is hilarious, because I think if anything it did the opposite. It just showed that you're really passionate about the truth, and you're just trying to find your way just like everybody else. You know, a lot of people were involved with that, so I didn't see anything wrong with that at all. You know, and it's funny that you say it's a digital Antifa. That's interesting. That so they were. You think they were like pre-Antifa, that they were the same kind of people?
No, because most of the people involved have really no idea. There's no boss, there's no leader, there's nobody saying, okay, on Wednesday we're going to do this, on Thursday we're going to do that. It's all about, you know, different cells and all of that. So I was hanging out with a lot of people in Brisbane, and you know, we were organising protests and all of that sort of stuff. But I was mostly into the online stuff. I can't really get into what I was involved in because it's not necessarily legal, but if you look into something called Op Israel, you might get an idea of what I was involved in. And I wouldn't even say it was really a doxing or an expose, because those photos of me with a mask weren't, you know, found. They were put on the internet by me. I put them out there. You know, it's not ever something that I was trying to hide. I used to talk about it in some of my very early videos. You know, it's you know, I guess somebody not very familiar with what Anonymous used to be, you know, 7 years ago, not familiar with my work, decided to say, well, hey, look what Anonymous is protesting over here in, I don't know, somewhere in America, and aha, here's Daniel Walker with a mask. So therefore, you know,
Yeah.
there was always infighting. There was never a consensus agreement on anything. There were always people who were trying to bring their external philosophies or their politics into the movement. That was always something that was frowned upon, because it was never meant to be a left-wing or a right-wing thing. If anything, it was, you know, anti-government, anti-corruption, anti-censorship, anti-free speech. But if you see, you know, what a lot of the leading anonymous people are doing today, it's all bullshit. It's all, you know, free Julian Assange and racism. It's all bullshit. It's turned into something that it wasn't. You know, when I first got involved, it was something that was very small. It was mostly an online thing, but you had all of your weekend activists come along, who, you know, try to turn it into some left-wing thing, and it really just fizzled out. You know, a lot of the original people who were involved with the Anonymous Network aren't there today. You know, none of the original people are there today, because it's turned into something quite ugly.
It seems like it did turn into Antifa, because Antifa's it's supposed to be like that too, with no leader and um you know, doing their thing. And the Guy Fawkes mask, because Fox phonetically is Fox. It's like and Guy Fawkes, he was, what did he do? He was bad. The Guy Fawkes, everyone's like down with him, but he was actually anti-church, wasn't he? That did
No,
the
he was
I
from
too.
my. And I could be getting this wrong. So if anyone's doing an essay on this, don't write this down verbatim. Or from my understanding, Guy Fawkes was a Catholic spy who was trying to end the monarchy. The monarch. That's my understanding of it. I don't really understand the Guy Fawkes stuff too much and why that was seen as a symbol. I think it really only became a thing after the V for Vendetta movie, because before that, we were just anons. That goes back to the old 4chan culture, 8chan culture, which should never be confused with what 4chan has become today. Two completely different things. It was really just a collective of loosely affiliated hackers that had an interest in exposing corruption and not letting the internet become, the safe nanny net. That's really what it was about. But now it's just, it's sort of molded with the that Wall Street movement in America. The what's it called? Where they all protest on Wall Street.
oh yeah, where they stayed on the pavement and stuff.
Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah, that's it. Occupy. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
got sort of swallowed up by the Occupy movement in a lot of ways, and a lot of left-wing think tanks got involved, and then when the Julian Assange stuff happened, a lot of people just swallowed that hook, line, and sinker without looking into it. I mean, even myself originally, I thought, oh wow, we've got this guy as a whistleblower and blah blah blah, and I've always considered myself a bit of a researcher. I started looking into it, and I started seeing his family ties to, the family cult and CIA and Mossad fingerprints all over Assange. His lawyer was a Rothschild lawyer, and the CIA connections. It just goes on and on and on. And I remember arguing with a lot of people about this, saying, this Julian Assange guy, he was made famous by the media. He's in the embassy just down the road from the Guardian, and the people that get the first slice of these leaks, the Algemena Journal, who's run by a pack of Jews, and the Guardian. There's not a single thing in here mentioning Israel. I mean, doesn't this, concern anyone? And that actually got a lot of people in anonymous against me, because I dared to question their pin-up poster boy. I dared to ask the question, is this guy legit? And I just started seeing, don't want to repeat myself, but it just started becoming more and more a left-wing thing. And I just became really disgruntled and thought, to hell with this, I don't need this.
Yeah. It's funny too, like Julian Assange. I was trying to bring up the picture, but there's like doesn't his hair kind of look like Sia's? He has that white hair. He was in that cult. What's it called? The Family or something? Too. It's like a lot
something like that.
Yeah, so like a lot of alarm bells with him. I never.
Yeah, even his mother. This is what a lot of people don't realize. This isn't just some guy who was paid off. This is someone who's been groomed from day dot. His mother. I've never seen someone be blocked on Twitter as quick as Julian Assange's mother blocked me. She wrote an open letter on Twitter to Malcolm Turnbull, who was our previous Australian Prime Minister, and I asked the question, like, well, is your son, you know, having fun with Pamela Anderson, visiting, you know, eating cupcakes just down the road from the Guardian, and doing his little Queen wave out this. You know, I said a bunch of things, and I got banned straight away. And I thought, yeah, you know, the family's in on it too. You look into the family, and you find these connections to ASIO, which is Australia's equivalent to the CIA. You find, you know, cult connections. There's a big cult out there in Townsville, North Queensland, north of where I live. And yeah, this is something that's an agenda. This is a psyop, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
I think have they not got a pic? See those cards you showed the other week, Daniel, the Illuminati Jackson cards. I think there's a Julia Assange card in there.
Yeah, Daniel, you have a Julian Assange card.
Yeah, there's one that kind of looks like him. I think a lot of people put stuff in there that they want to be there. I don't know. It's kind of debatable whether it's a picture of him or not. It could be. I don't know.
I mean, it looked like him, you know, and they, you know, and he's their boy, so, you know.
There's one that looks like Alex Jones as well, and it's the card's called Agent in Place, and it looks exactly like Alex Jones. I thought that was interesting. Yeah,
you need to go through those, Daniel, and see the ones that haven't been figured out yet, because, you know, you could figure out maybe some stuff that's going to come up.
Yeah.
By the ones that, you know, they haven't been talked about yet for future events.
Oh, yeah. There's still more that I have to get. I don't have the whole set yet, but I almost do. So I'm trying to chase down a few more.
Cool. Hey, Andy, are you still with us? Andy is not. Look at his picture. It's pretty funny with what's his name? see the picture too. So he's with her because they're pushing multiculturalism. Yeah. So they make all the top people, you know, mix.
Yeah, just like all the celebrities who adopt black children. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and then they make them of the opposite sex, right?
Yeah.
Charlize Theron has adopt a little black boy and has him in dresses and.
Oh, she shocked me. She's worse than Angelina Jolie. That woman. I actually thought she was a really cool actress a long time ago. She's,
who's that?
You know, Charlize Theron, however you say her name, however you pronounce it. She's in a lot of cool movies.
They're transgenders.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'd like to do a talk on that one too.
I think we should, yeah.
Yeah.
Because as Rosette was saying, it goes right into the whole Baphomet thing, and that's something I've spoken about in the past. And yeah, that video got deleted pretty quick. Actually, it was one of the. So we got to be careful what we say as well.
Yeah. Oh, was it a live chat, Daniel, that got deleted, or was it like a presentation?
Well, I did do a live chat quite some time ago with a very controversial guy, to say the least, called Luke McKee. A lot of people don't really like him, but I've got to credit him because he was one of the people that opened up my eyes to the OTO, Auto Templi Orientis. He was the first person that really got me to look in that direction. And he actually got in touch with me because I did a video about Sydney University. I found out that the Maria Abrahamovic woman that the Pizzagate community kept going wild about was a frequent guest at Sydney University. And the address for the Sydney OTO temple is the Sydney University. I found that very strange. I found out all of this stuff and I thought, oh my God, I've got to talk about this. I got in touch with someone who was actually a student at Sydney University. So I asked them to go and, you know, take some photos of the architecture, and they didn't really know what they were looking for. I just said, take photos of everything and I'll go through them. And yeah, some of the photos I got back were quite impressive. A lot of Baal worship stuff, and it was very eerie. And I put that video out there. That one did all right. He got in touch with me, and
I thought I did a good job, but he showed me I was really only cracking the surface, literally only cracking the surface. And he sent me all of this stuff about the OTO, pedophile cult in Australia, running our court system, running the Australian Federal Police, and all of the cover-up scandals with transgender men going into women's prison and mass raping the female prisoners and causing an AIDS epidemic in the prison. Like and all of the cover-up involved and all of the pedophiles who are working with police. It's just disgusting. It's too much for the average person. It's very overwhelming, but yeah, he really opened my eyes to a lot. And I'm sort of getting off track there, just thinking about it, but not really sure what the question was anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how we got started on that. I want to say about Marina Abramovich. She's like highly worshipped in that Hollywood satanic community. She's like their idol, and she's in her late 70s or early 80s, and she looks like she's like 30 or 40.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure she takes baths in I'm speculating, but I think she does things with human blood.
adrenochrome.
Yeah, and human blood and stuff like that, and puts it on her face like they had Kim Kardashian do, stuff like that, because she looks so young, still, and she's so old. So here, let me see. I'll bring up I could do a share screen on her picture. So look at her. I mean,
I've seen that lady. Yeah, she's yeah. I know who you're talking about now. I didn't realise that was how old she was.
Yeah, here I'll do a look. But look here, why does she have this naked baby and she's pointing down? I mean, she's such a sick. She is a sick person. Let's see how old she is. She's 72. But yeah, she's pretty sick, and they like her. So yeah, I'm not surprised she's connected with the OTO.
Well, she's a spiritual handler for a lot of these people. Like when you look into the MK Ultra stuff, you always find that there's usually like a handler that guide people through this process. Like for an example, I believe Jay-Z, who is an self-admitted member of the OTO pedophile cult, I believe he's the handler for Beyonce. It's the same thing with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, for an example. And if you look into Nicole Kidman's father, who's I think he's actually, well, there's a lot of pedophile cover-up in that family as well.
Yeah, she's pretty bad. And her dad killed himself, right, when he got exposed or something in Thailand. Didn't he go to Thailand or something? Yeah, so he got exposed for his pedophilia, and then he went, like, he hung himself or something. He went to Thailand and hung himself.
Yeah. I mean, even Donald Trump, if you look into Ray Cohn, is a Freemason connected to Mossad, Chabad Lubavitch. He was his Jewish handler. A lot of these people have handlers. Like if you read Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, he was one of the mentors of Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
All of these people have handlers.
Did you read Tragedy and Hope? You read it, Walker?
No, I didn't. I started reading it, to be honest, but it's a very
thick, and
it's a very thick book, especially when you get the original edition with the extra 200 pages. But it's a very difficult book. It doesn't read very well. It's just full of facts, names, and dates. So it's very
dry.
Yeah, it's very, very dry. Yeah.
It is, because I bought it too, and I read like maybe 100 pages, and I couldn't read anymore. It was so dry. It was so like, ugh. And I'm like, and it's like 800 pages, 1,000 pages. It's like a super thick book. And
I
that's
do
like,
hope to get through it at some time, though.
yeah, I guess we got to do it in bits, just read like
Yeah.
a page here, pick something else up, a page there.
I keep getting distracted because I've been tracking down a lot of books. So I've got this other one by Maurice Pennet, The Plot Against the Church, which talks about Vatican B and basically how the Jews and the Jesuits infiltrated the Catholic Church and perverted it. That one's of high interest to me at the moment. So I've put Tragedy and Hope down, and I've started reading that one.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, because they definitely infiltrated. So, some channels on YouTube are trying to say it's the opposite. Like I think it's a Plain Truth says it's they're trying to say that the Jesuits infiltrated the Jews, that the Jesuits are on top. And I beg to differ. It's the opposite. It's
Yeah.
the Jews that did all the infiltrating.
Well, it's really simple to debunk this. You only have to look at what predates what. Judaism predates the Jesuit order. Even the Jesuit order was started by a guy called Laloya, who's actually a Jew himself. He's a crypto Jew. He's of Rothschild lineage. So the idea that it's the other way around is just nothing but propaganda.
Yeah, but some people believe it and they push it, so.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. The Catholic Church banned usury for 1,300 years. It wasn't until the Jewish infiltration that they started embracing usury. Where does usury come from? The Jews.
Jews.
So the idea that it's the other way around, I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's totally laughable. I agree. And because it expressly says in the Bible that we're not supposed to do usury. That's why like Christ turned over the money lenders' tables and stuff like that, trying to get us to see that that's a satanic system that that we shouldn't fall under, and the whole world's under it now, So we're under this satanic usury system, and that's why, part of the reason we're in the trouble we're in today is because we're following it. We're under it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hey, Andrew, are you there still? Did you go away? He had an article I thought was interesting. It shows, because he's in Portugal, and the article, here, let me see. I'll see if I could bring up the article, his article. Let me see. They were showing how the birth rates in Portugal are. Oh, here. Okay, I got it. Let me do a screen share. I'll show you. Let me see. Share. Okay, let me get over there. Oops. Oh, that's not what great. That's not what I want to show, and everyone can see that now. Oh shit. Okay, never mind. I can't get it up. I can't get the article up. Anyway, it showed just that the birth rates in Portugal are lower than the death rates now. And then they're saying that's a good thing because citing overpopulation in the world. So, just more propaganda basically that they're pushing.
Yeah, well, this goes hand in hand with the replacement migration agenda. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, Tim Kelly spoke about this on his show the other day. But there's a Jew who spoke about the destruction of Germany. He called it the final solution to the German question, funnily enough. And something he spoke about was softening Europe through demoralization. So, through pornography and all of this sort of stuff, getting women into the workforce, feminism, and raising consumerism. And this was going to do two things. It was going to bring down wages because now there's more competition. there's more laborers than the need for labor. But on top of that, it's going to bring down the birth rates. And this was going to soften the blow. This cultural editing was going to soften the blow for what we have now, the migration crisis. And this was basically the European people's punishment for standing up to the Jews.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, because their whole goal is to wipe us out.
Yeah, they're
It'd be
evil.
part.
Have you guys saw the movie Brave New World? Aldous Huxley.
Aldous
It's on
Huxley.
YouTube.
A movie?
It's a 3 hours long movie, but it's very, very good. That, I think, in my opinion, that is what they want to do. Genetically modify us, to create some kind of sub-races, It's not even races anymore, sub-races. And then they create an hierarchy, with the Jew at the top, yeah. You
Yeah,
guys have to watch
definitely.
that movie. Go watch that movie. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, or the book. What? That's Aldous Huxley, right? And
Yeah, the movie is cool because it's from 1970. It's not. It's a old school movie. It's from the
yeah,
BBC when BBC was still had something, truthful to it. But yeah, it's a very good book. If you guys, book and movie. If you guys check it out, you'll see what the Jews want to do with that.
yeah. Because in it, it's very immoral too. They have it where everyone could just sleep with everybody, right? Everyone's just sleeping with everybody, and they take soma, which is I guess like a version of alcohol or something, so that everyone just takes soma. It's like whatever their pleasure drug, and soma means sleep, right? So it's like they're all asleep, the sheeple, and then they're grown in like test tubes, right? So there's no sense of family. They don't know who their parents are or anything. They're all just like grown in test tubes, and then they're grown into alpha, beta, gamma, and delta, right? And delta is the lowest. And so the alphas would probably just be the Jews, really, and then we
No,
would be.
no, because you don't even see the guys who rule. You only see the people who make part of that society. You don't never see the guys who rule. You have this black guy in the movie. The guy who is giving all the instructions. He's the leader, but he's not the real leader of the entire. He's just a spokesman. You never see, and you go see the names. Just like in the 1984 book, it's full of Jewish names. The bad guys have always Jewish names. Go watch the movie. It's Stein, Rubin, and shit like that. Go watch the movie, you'll see. At least 4 or 5 characters have Jewish names, and they are all in the higher ups.
Yeah, yeah. It's the world they want for sure. Hey, Andy, did you want to show that article, that Portuguese one, or no?
What article?
Just that one you were showing me that on the birth rates. I was trying to bring it up, but I couldn't. I just showed my the wrong screen.
Oh, the birth rates. Oh, the Portuguese one.
Yeah, you want to just show that real quick?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Give me a sec. Okay. I'll just have to go to this corner. Yeah, crazy stuff. They did it in America, but they also have to, they always have to reply in other countries. And so the press is trying to be saucy, as the Americans when they write this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Okay. You read it, okay? Please.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah. I prefer. My English is not.
Okay. Let me.
Okay.
You gonna bring it up on the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like your English, Andy.
Yeah, you do pretty good, Andy.
No, my accent is horrible. My accent is horrible. Most of the times, I think people don't even understand me. Especially when I'm speaking fast. Yeah, I think most people don't. They say, yeah. They don't understand.
Andy, but you're aren't you originally your family was in the U.S. or something? You were saying, and then you moved, right? Yeah. So you're actually an American with a Portuguese accent.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is kind of
funny. I
funny.
came here very early, I my,
Yeah.
my all my school was made here. That's why. Yeah, I cannot get. I don't think I will never get rid of this accent.
Yeah. It's very nice.
Okay,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
just so what's this newspaper called? It's Diary of Notices or something?
It's
Is it
the Diary of News.
of
Diário de News.
news? Oh no, TCS news. Is
It's a
this
Jewish flag. And the
pardon?
guy you see here on the left, it's a Jew.
Oh, it's a
Pena
Jew.
Pierce. Pierce is a Jew name.
That's a Jew
So
name.
yeah, it's a Jew, right?
Yeah, I mean it makes sense because it's a propaganda piece, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
spewing hate to the Portuguese people. Okay, go ahead.
All right, do you want me to read it or Daniel, why don't you read it? You're a good reader. Daniel,
Oh,
you want
I
me to read
would.
it?
I'm currently on my phone.
Oh, can you read
It's
it
a
or
bit
do you
too
want me to do
small.
it? Okay, I'll do it then. Okay. So low birth rate, probably good news. 1. Portugal has one of the lowest birth rates in Europe today. It also has a negative natural balance. In 2017, 23,000 people were born in Portugal, less than those who died. So 23,000 people less than those who died. Good news in principle. 2. The planet will hardly survive with current population growth. The pressure placed on ecosystems and natural resources undermines the environmental sustainability of the human species. In this context, the emergence of population reduction dynamics can only be good news because this reduction results from free choices and not from repressive interventions or wars and other Malthusian regulators. A
Yeah, yeah.
simple, yeah,
It's a nice way to rephrase
Yeah.
communism, isn't it?
yeah, and to get rid of us, right? It's a good thing because I
Well,
mean,
they won't use the word communism, but they'll use all of those fancy terms that you just said.
yeah, exactly. It says here a simple observation: the total population of the world will not decrease if it does not decrease the population of each country. That is to say, we cannot proclaim in abstract the virtualities of the global population reduction and react scared to the concrete diminution. How do you say that? Diminution of the population of our country. So it's funny though because the only ones that are really reducing their populations are the white Christian nations, right?
Mhm.
Or any of the others,
The ones,
you know?
the ones who are the smallest demographic in the world, and the ones who are actually trying to implement methods of sustainability and environmentalism. It doesn't matter about the Chinese in Africa who can't sustain themselves. It's the Europeans that have to go, right?
Exactly.
The Chinese government owns our energy company. The biggest energy company is owned by the Chinese at this point. They sold the socialists and the communists. Yeah, the communists know. They always say no, don't sell, don't sell, but they always sign the check. So yeah, they sold our energy to the Chinese. At this moment, we are under Chinese rule in terms of energy.
Are you
I'm not surprised by that at all, because China has a monopoly of our Australian infrastructure as well. And guess what? This year, guess what? One of the most popular pieces of literature in China was. Have a guess. The Talmud.
Chairman Mao's
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Book?
No, the Talmud. The Talmud was,
They want to
I
learn
think it
how
was
to
the
do
first
shekels.
or the second most popular. Well, they see these
So
are
they tell
very
us.
atheistic people, but yeah, well, they're very atheistic people, but they have a how can I say this without sounding rude? They basically worship money, and I'm not saying this about every Chinese person. I'm sure there's a lot of good Chinese people out there, but a lot of these people are very much driven by money, and they see the Talmud as a means to acquiring financial success. And in a lot of ways, money is their god. That's the carrot on the stick for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I was telling you, Daniel, I was listening to that one Australian guy. He did a podcast, and he was saying that he talked to some Chinese representative of the government, and he asked how much they were planning on spending, the Chinese government in Australia. And he says, how much money do you have, to spend? And the guy says, in the trillions are going to spend on Australia. They're going to buy everything up they can in Australia, the Chinese.
And not just in yuans, they mine most of the Bitcoin blocks and most of the cryptocurrencies in the world. The technology, the hardware that's needed to mine these, some of the bigger cryptocurrencies, the actual hardware is owned by Jews, patented by Jews, but it's all being run out of China. And you say, okay, what's the connection between Jews and the Chinese? Well, if you look into
between the people of the dragon, between the people of the dragon,
well, yeah,
and
that too. Well, I mean, yeah, if you look into BRICS, you have the Russia, the Chinese connection there. If you look into Israel putting out articles this year saying that they're going to match China's manufacturing capacity with their technological innovation, aka the technology that they've stolen from the US government. Because in a lot of ways, Israel, which is a Soviet creation, is the back door into the West. And if you look into the F-35s and how China and Iran and Russia have, and even Israel have all of these knockoff versions, this is technology that was created by the US taxpayer. And it's all in China now, it's all in Russia now. And it's all being handed to them by Israel. And if you look in, I mean, it's a big connection. It goes right into the whole Silk Road initiative. And I do think in a lot of ways, Moscow, New York, and China, they are the pillars of the New World Order.
Yeah, let me say just there wasn't a power outage in America a few days ago. I think it was in New York or something like that. No?
Oh, maybe. I haven't heard, but...
Yeah, because I was reading on 4chan that there was some kind of power outage in New York, and they were saying it was because Trump was shutting down the government. The Jews gave him a sign, so they switched down, the lights in New York just as a sign. You guys should look it up. I'm going to try to look that news because it's if it's so, Talpio is in full, it's going full on.
I'm kind of like Rose said. I don't watch a lot of news. In fact, I get most of my news from you, Andy. You post a lot of stuff in the Discord server there. Apart from that, I just usually read stuff about what's going on in the Middle East. But I get most of my news from you, actually.
Thanks, bro.
Well, did you see that?
Me too, Andy.
Did you see that?
The news feed.
The drone attack in London on Gatwick Airport, the supposed drones that were shutting the airport down. Did any of you guys see that?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, where 633 flights were cancelled. Well,
oh wow,
yeah, as the usual shit. So
why were they cancelled?
Because seemingly a couple of people were flying drones within the flight paths for over 36 hours. Which was ridiculous. But the point I was going to say here was 3 days later, an Israeli firm called Raphael or something provided the drone dome attack system to take the drones out of the sky. It was an Israeli firm that came to the rescue. There's a shocker.
Is that Raphael Defense?
Yes. I think so,
yeah, I know a lot about that company.
So they've now provided this drone dome attack system a few days later. So a perfect case of problem, reaction, solution there.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got an office here in Australia, actually, Raphael Defense.
And just one more little thing, comment. When I looked at the pictures of the event, it showed you a bunch of guys standing out on the airport runway with shades on. It's obviously hiding themselves because it was a bit of an overcast sky, and it showed you their vehicle, and the first two letters of the registration number was LY, right in your face, a big lie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so
all
funny.
all the symbolism.
Another July.
Yeah, that's all it
Another
was.
July.
But sorry to take you off the court. I just wanted to mention the Israeli, the connection there with that one.
Oh, that's really good. That's a good connection for sure.
Okay. I found the news, guys. It's this news. Transformer explosion at power plant turns New York skyline blue, causes
Oh,
outages. You know?
I seen that. I seen that.
Okay, you see?
Yes, I seen that the other day in the news.
Yeah. And people were saying that
It's an electrical plant.
it was a Jew sending a signal to Trump. And it probably is. This kind of stuff doesn't happen every day like this, you know. Look at it.
And the power plant is in Queens. So you got
Yeah.
Queen, right? Luciferian as opposed to
Yeah.
King Christ. And then it turned the skyline blue, right?
The
So
blue bloods.
Yep.
red would be the symbolic of Christ and blue of Lucifer. So they turned it blue, the Blue Lodge, and York for the New York, right? Like their
Crazy
headquarters
shit.
is New York in the United States, you know.
Yeah, they're getting near the end there.
Crazy shit.
Did they show like a lightning bolt striking that tower?
No, this I don't
They
even know what it
didn't.
is.
You think they
This is-
would?
I thought
It's
they
a
would.
Twilight Zone.
It's
For
the
me.
only thing that's missing from that video: the lightning bolt striking
Yeah.
the tower and a Ferris wheel in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, we need a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
For those interested, this is something because I think they have the they already have the power to shut us down for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You want
So
to
they-
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's I'll just make a comment on that if I can. If any of you guys watched, or anybody in the audience watched the propaganda CIA creation movie about Edward Snowden, which was all really a huge whitewash, but there's a certain part of that movie where they're actually alluding to something that's quite true. If anybody remembers the part of the movie where they're talking about how through the CIA that they actually control the world's technological infrastructure. For an example, if Japan gives them a hard time in the United Nations Security Council, they can just shut off their power grids or shut down their water their water things if they need be, because they've got backdoors in all of the world's technological core infrastructure. What they don't tell you is it's not necessarily the CIA, but it's actually the Mossad, and this is when you get right into Unit 8200 and the Intel fabrication backdoors and all of the backdoors in our hardware, all of the backdoors that are used by all of the world's intelligence gathering agencies, including the CIA. If you look into the Five Eyes, which is Australia, New Zealand, the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada, they all admittedly share the information that they gather, but all of them have Israeli backdoors. If you look into the creation of the CIA, anyway, long story short, what's not said in that movie is the fact that it's actually Israel that has their fingers on the kill switch. If you look into this is where the whole Talpiot program thing comes into it. It's kill switch diplomacy. It's like it's the Samson option 2.0. That's what I call it. The Samson option was something that they put in place a long time ago, where if Israel's nation state was ever threatened, what they would do is fire rockets in all sorts of directions at America, at Europe, into Asia. They'd basically bring down as much as the world with them as they could. Well, now they don't have to do that because they've got the Samson option 2.0. Now, if you think about, the LA riots, or how quickly things can turn ugly in America, for an example, when the power goes out. Well, guess who has the kill switch diplomacy? Guess who has that Samson option 2.0? Guess who can control the world's technological infrastructure at literally the flick of a switch with all of these backdoors? Israel. That's their Samson option 2.0. So when you see this big explosion in China, for an example, or if you see airports being shut down or electrical grids being turned off, people should really question this, because I don't think it's an accident.
No.
Yeah,
Everything's
definitely.
all by design, all these big events, every single one of them.
You know what it reminds me of though. The whole thing is it reminds me of Moby Dick. You know the story of Moby Dick and
The
Ahab.
whale hunter?
Yeah, because in that, so the whole book, Moby Dick, it was about Captain Ahab trying to get control over the whale, and he learned like everything he could about the whale. He was like the expert on the whale, like every little thing. Like you read that book, and you're just like, it's kind of like reading uh, the Carol Quigley book. It's like it gets really dry. You're like, and this is supposed to be a famous novel because he goes into
Yeah.
every little detail about the world. About the whale, excuse me, every little detail, right? He has to have control over the whale, but in the end, the whale wins. So the whale is God, and Ahab is the Jews, basically. So they do everything they can to control us, to have every aspect of everything, every kind of control over us. That's what they're doing, right? But in the end, God wins anyway, So they're gonna lose in the end. They're just like Ahab and the whale. That's how I see it.
It's very interesting.
Good analogy.
Well, you do have to wonder about these, the books and movies that they make famous, that they tell us are the best ones. There's always something else there to be read by people that can read between the lines, or, something reserved there for, as they say, the esoteric.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely put stuff in the movies.
Yeah, they always tell us to go, this is going to be the best movie ever, aren't they? And everybody runs out to watch
Like
it.
Wakanda? Oh,
and
God.
and we know that's put out there for a reason too. That's to get a certain group of our society all riled up, thinking that they're something that they're not.
Oh, yeah, it's
And get them
this
against
great black
us.
movie. It's this wonderful black movie. It's got no white people, even though it was written and made by Jews. All the people off the camera were Jews. Oh, it's completely black. What a wonderful feat for the African American people. What a joke.
Exactly.
And isn't it ironic that I didn't actually watch the movie, but somebody told me, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if it's the main character, but somebody in that movie, they actually get their power by drinking a purple substance, like grape soda or something like that. I found that funny.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I've not seen it.
I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting.
What's that movie everybody sings the songs about it over here? Is it The Greatest Showman? You seen that?
The Greatest what?
Showman.
The Greatest Showman?
Yeah, have you not seen it? It's like
No.
It's like a musical. Everybody sings the songs about it over. I think Pink's got a version of one of the songs. It's about a man who has some sort of like a freak show of all these different types of people. And the main character is a mixed race woman with a beard.
Oh
Basically,
my God.
a Baphomet. Well, you should look it up and watch the movie, The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah,
I know. I can't even watch like Hollywood movies anymore.
Neither can I anymore.
I can't. Like if you go to Netflix, I mean they're all just so God, so bad.
Just brainwashing.
Yes, it's like,
Absolutely.
it's either, dudes kissing or girls kissing or transvestites or pushing the mixed race stuff, and everything. It's just too much, I can't even watch it anymore.
But they turn this thing into a big fancy musical, and everywhere you go, everybody's singing it. It's on adverts on TV. They're playing it in kids' parties. It's just, it's ridiculous, and people don't know the message behind it.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about that, I was wanting to share something with you guys. I seen in the news the other day, if I can.
Yeah.
Just a picture. I know I'm going off here.
Yep.
I'll share screen. So, have you heard of this graffiti artist called Banksy?
Yep.
Have you heard of him? Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
like some guy who nobody really knows, who goes around and paints graffiti on the wall.
Mhm.
And it's got an appropriate name, Banksy. I think the banks own him, or it's a I
Yeah.
remember that.
It's paid by the
Yeah,
Banksy.
paid by the banks. So here's this was drawn on a wall down in England, somewhere, a place called Port Talbot, a couple of days ago, and it basically shows the fire you see on the left hand side, and it's, to me, that's the orange of 33 and the destruction, the fire they're raining down on us, and then they show this little boy with the open Christ symbolism,
Yeah.
and his tongue sticking out for the Kali. This is the way I see it, and it's the kind of showing that they're raining this destruction down on us at the moment. But what they've actually done is they've put some news stories out that some half-witted idiots are trying to destroy it. So people are getting overprotective of this symbol and trying to put plastic over it and stand guard of it, not really knowing what it's actually symbolising.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
You
mocking.
see it?
It's a mocking
they're
symbol
mocking us.
because the
They're
kid's doing the
mocking us.
collie for sure with the sticking out the tongue.
Sticking out the tongue.
Yep.
And the only, I think there's another picture here, the only thing that's coloured in it is the pink tongue. Wait, you see it? See it?
Wait, I have a delay. I can't see it yet. It has a pink tongue though.
Yeah. See the pink? Can you see the pink?
Oh, there,
tongue?
I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've got everybody loving this symbol and protecting it, and they don't actually see what's the symbolism behind it. Like the young generation, the destruction raining down on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought I'd share that one with you. Sorry if I kind of digressed.
Oh, that's really good.
Does it seem like a white kid to you? No, it seems like
No, it's a coloured kid, I
a
think.
mixed race kid.
It's a mixed race kid. The future,
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. It's a mixed race kid.
That's why they that's why they put the tongue pink, so that you distinguish that it's from another color, you know?
And it's going from, and people are making it look as if it's snow falling on him. And it's actually, it's the black from the smoke coming into the white ash, so it's a bit of Freemasonic
Yeah, it's
symbolism
the
there.
ashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the end, it's supposed to be with fire, right?
Yeah.
Fire is supposed to rain down. So that's what they have. Yeah.
I want to show you something, guys. You can guys see when people speak about Zionism not being religious. I'm going to show you guys. With this, they don't do this on your face. You don't see this kind of news on CNN, but in Jewish news, they speak about it all the time. I'm going to give you an example. Okay, look.
Sorry, my dog.
You see this? I will consolidate. Dá momento, tá? I will consolidate religious Zionism. You know, just check these two words. For those who say that the Zionism is not religious, this is the guy who's going to run against, I think, against Netanyahu or whatever. Now, so guys, when somebody comes, oh, Zionism, no, Zionism is not a religion; it's a political movement. Shut them their mouth and show them this news. I see dozens of news, you know, every day like this. But you see, it's a Jewish newspaper, you know. And they don't throw this, but for everybody to know that Zionism is religious. Zionism is world domination. It's what the Jew wants. It's not about religions or about Israel, a small 25 kilometers land, you know? Okay, I'm done.
Definitely.
Okay, guys. Yeah, but when the noobs come and try to say, oh, it's not that. It's that. You have here a guy running for prime minister saying that he will consolidate religious Zionism. Okay, from the horse of the horse of the, how do you say, the horse of whatever.
Out of the horse's mouth.
Exactly.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Right on. Hey, so we should wrap it up, guys, because we've been on like 2 hours and 12 minutes, and Um, I got some stuff I have to do at home here. But do you guys have any questions for any of us in the chat before we wrap it up? Anything pressing anyone wants to share or ask, or we could how about you guys? Is there anything you want to share? Andy, Sean, Daniel, that you want to say
Very
as we
interesting.
wrap it up?
Very interesting. Yeah, I like this kind of discussions, you know, and the possibility that people can share screenshots and things is even better than YouTube, because YouTube is kind of messy, you know. Here is more direct, you know. You have all the options here in this application. I like it a lot. Good show. Good app.
I was going to, maybe we spoke at, maybe a couple of minutes, so maybe we're going to talk about the IRA bombings in the UK.
Yeah. Do you want to do that for the next one then?
Yeah, if you want, we'll talk about that next one. There's a few things I was.
Or do you want to do? You can. Can you do it like in 5 minutes? Like,
yeah. Well, it's just
talking.
It's talking. Like I've not really got any pictures unless.
Oh, okay.
You can pull up the Discord stuff we had.
You know, I can't. I can't. Right. I tried to do that with Andy's, and I couldn't.
It looks like you got a couple of questions there. You also got Ron Sheckleson up in the chat. Hey, your admin spammed me from your Discord server because I asked questions. So it's very Jewish of him. Just thought I'd chuck that out there.
What happened with Ron?
Not him, but his mate spammed me from the server because I dared to have a different opinion about something. But you got some questions out there. Someone says, "Why don't you like black people, Rosette?"
I don't dislike black people. I love my race. You know, I love my race, and I want to stick up for my race. Is there something wrong with that? Am I saying anything hateful to black people? You know,
do peacocks stroll with chickens? Does that make the chicken hateful?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's okay for nature, right? For each creature in nature to be with their own kind. But for some reason, if a white person wants to stick up for white people and is down with white people, that somehow I'm a hater. You know, I mean, the most hate I see out there is from black people. Actually, you should see some of the comments I get. You know, I mean, all the hate's from black people.
From black Israelites, right?
Yeah, they're the ones that are the most hateful people. You know, they say awful things. I mean, we just want to stick up for white people. What's wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with sticking up for my race? My race is in trouble right now, and I really care about my race. So
I would ask the people asking these sorts of questions, you know, is what's the difference between segregation and integration? Do people not have their right to self-determination? You know, people need to go read M. Upper Jones' The Slaughter of Cities and look into the fraud that was the civil rights movement. I don't think anybody here is a hateful person. I don't think anyone here hates people based on the plot of dirt that they come from. But, you know, I think there's, like I said, everybody has the right to self-determination. And when you grab other cultures of people, like if you look into Angela Merkel, who's, I believe her father was a rabbi, when you get these people who are bringing people from the third world into our countries, into our neighborhoods, to solve the problem that they created of declining birth rates, you know, they're not bringing these people here to add to the culture. They're not bringing these people to contribute to our societies. They're bringing these people to destroy our societies. I mean, if anybody can't see that the only reason these people are coming here is because it's going to make all of us an easier to control slave class, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, and you can't go back. So once we're all mixed together, that's it. All the races are gone forever. If we're all mixed into one race, that's it. And why would everyone want it like that? You know,
The Jews won't mix. The top at the top, they will be white. They will mix, as they are mixing now with royalty, and they will have hook noses, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Yeah, they are going to be the new royalty. The mother, yeah,
They
you know,
want us
yeah,
all to be the
they will be
grey
whites
NPCs.
at the top. They won't be the real whites, but they will be the new whites, hook nose whites, blonde, blue hair, yeah, it's going to be and all of us are going to be mixed color, but they are going to be whites, of course,
Yeah, and
living
we're
in
all going to be
probably.
the slaves, and that's what the other races need to understand too. Like the blacks, giving me so much shit and stuff. It's like you guys are idiots. You hate us white people. We're the ones stopping the Jews from taking over the world. And if they take over the world, you think it's going to be good for you guys? No, it's not. You're going to be slaves. It's going to be a hell world.
Yeah,
You're
Asians,
attacking the wrong people. You're attacking the
Asians will
people
be
that are
next.
trying to keep the world a good place.
Asians will be next. Then probably will be the Latin America because South America because they have what they call the IQ. Yeah, it's going by IQ. They will erase us by IQ. First the whites because we fight back. Then the Asians because they have an higher IQ than us, and then it will be the Mexicans because they think too much. They need to be. It's going to be like this. They won't stop. They won't stop.
Yeah, and then they'll downsize us to their 500 million, like they say on the Georgia Guidestones.
Yep.
There'll be 500 million slaves, and we're all going to be one mixed race with them ruling over us. Oh, what a lovely world! I can't wait for that world. Sarcastic.
It's almost like what they were trying to do at the Tower of Babel. Which is what
exactly.
the UN Parliament building is modelled after, by the way. If you look at the UN Parliament building,
Exactly.
Yeah.
The EU building, it's modelled after the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, it sure is. I shared a picture with Rosette some time ago. It was Amber Rudd. She's a European Brexit secretary or something like that. And it showed you her standing talking about Brexit, and there was a kind of border force law enforcement ship behind her, and the name of the ship was called Nimrod. Remember that one? Remember I shared that with you?
Yeah, that's
Nimrod,
right.
yeah, from the Tower of Babel, as you said, Daniel.
Yeah,
And we have to remember that I always say this, we are the leftovers. Some of us, those who are here, we must be descendant of warriors because we are fighting back. But most of the people are not because we are all the leftovers of great men that died fighting wars and the fratricide, Yeah, we are the leftovers.
Yeah.
100 years ago, we had more brave and courageous people, than we have today.
Yeah, because that's who they
did
always
the
try
job.
and wipe out, exactly. Or the brave, the most intelligent. That's what the communists do, right? They go in and they kill all the intellectuals, like in Russia. All the brave people and the intellectuals they kill off first. Definitely. But guys, I do have to go. We're doing construction in our house on our bathroom, and so it's going to get really noisy, and I gotta go. I gotta help here a little, but thanks everyone
thanks for
for
having me
joining
on.
us.
No, thanks for that.
Yeah, Daniel, Sean, Andy, you guys are my favorite group to live chat with. So
Thank you. Thank you
yeah,
very
if
much.
you guys ever want to do more, I really enjoy chatting with you guys. I think we make a good little group. Everyone has really good input. So
let's do it.
All right, and thanks everybody in the chat. We really appreciate you guys joining us. And sorry we didn't chat more. It's hard because there's a delay on the live chat. So if I'm looking at the Zoom, I can't see the chat. Maybe we, I don't know. We'll focus more on you guys for the next one and get whatever you want to say. We'll talk about. But all right, guys.
All
well,
right,
anyway,
take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Touch base later.
Daniel.
Okay.
Take care,
Bye.
Daniel. Take care, Andy. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.